Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. Final day of trading. All right, you made it. You just need to be sensible for one more day and you're at the weekend. And we've had a pretty good week on stream, so hopefully you've caught some of these trades with me today. Those of you who hung around yesterday until the end, final 20 minutes, we had a banger, and that's all you needed really for yesterday and even for the week. So our job today, don't do anything stupid, okay? That's our main job. We're into Friday, the last day of the week, the last day of the month right now. We're expecting possible rotation due to that. You do not want to do something stupid on a Friday because then you have to live with it all weekend, all right? So make sure, go through your checklist before you do anything else. Are you fit, able, and capable of taking a trade today? If you've got a hangover, not just from alcohol, maybe from the markets. All right, if you're feeling a bit tilty, you need to be careful because this market, very, very sensitive right now. Okay, into the daily chart. What do we have? Yesterday, failed breakout of the highs. All right, yesterday provided the opportunity for bulls to hold this high for a continuation higher. They failed. All right, simple as that. They failed. So overnight, we've come and washed out the last two lows and we've balanced all the way back into Friday's high. Repricing this drive higher, right? Repricing this sort of gap in here, coming down. Right now we're finding buys in that zone. Now they don't have to stay there, but for now we're finding buys in that zone and reclaiming 5-day moving average. Now, if you look at the ETFs, all right, they banged straight into the 5-day moving average and previous day low on that drive. So they caught this and are catching a bid off it. And it looks like participants being fairly aggressive right now. I don't know if news has just hit the wire, but there is some volume stepping up here at the moment. So where are we at? Well, we still have the chance to go higher. It's unlikely to happen today, but we still have this kind of move here after pivoting it. So I don't want to completely rule that out and just get mega bearish looking for this move, which is also possible, which means we're in a two-way tape and the battle will continue between multiple time frame buyers and sellers. And the reason for that is we have a failed breakout of the low and a failed breakout of the high. And this is really a balanced range. All right, so we can expect a certain degree of chop in this range until it proves otherwise. Now, if we're going to start reclaiming levels up here, we can trigger a long upside. If there is a clear rejection of some, sorry about that team, of some overhead supply, we look for a retest of the overnight lows. We can see this in more detail as we go down into the hourly charts. All right, so right here, focus on this chart at the bottom first. You can see yesterday we were looking to see if we could reclaim that. We never reclaimed it and we dripped down lower and we have just washed out all these stops. And the next level, if we're going to go lower, that currently we're protecting is 190. Now, one thing to be aware of is the old gaps in here, right? So if we go to regular trading hours, we zoom in a little bit. All right, there are some gaps down here. So if we don't protect 195, there is very, very much potential for a gap fill into 21,000s. All right, very, very quickly, you can get a 150-point move down there. So you want to be careful of that. Understand those old gaps which haven't been filled in are there. I'm not saying they get filled today, but they are there. Squeeze higher trigger really will be yesterday's VWAP and this red box. All right, so I think I said 420s. Yeah, so I can probably move this up. All right, a squeeze higher would need to trigger a sort of pushback above 420s, a pullback and a hold, and then maybe we can reprice up here. Why am I thinking that? Well, that would still potentially just set up the head and shoulder and counter trend leg. We've got lots and lots of room here. If we go to a 4 hour, you will see, all right, from that break and snap straight down, we have not set a lower high up here. So there's still the possibility that market, even if it wants to go lower, might want to set a lower high up here before coming down. That would be dreamboat scenario because it will set up a long trigger squeeze up. And then if they set the higher low, it will offer the trade back down. If they trigger the long squeeze up, and it doesn't stop and it reclaims 21,700s or 21,750s, I'd stay long. All right, I'll be looking to take out the highs. I'm not saying we do that. Might be next week, might never come at all if we've put in the high. But that's what I'd be looking for. If we reclaim, remember, reclaim of levels is where you get trigger squeezes. So reclaim of supply all the way up here, reclaim of where these buyers got stuck around here, new trigger long. Reclaim of this level, 720, and all the way up in 720, 420 and 500s, probably a trade into 600s. If none of that happens this morning and we keep getting stuck up here, then there is a possible rotation back down for this guy right here. And again, remember, if we lose that, this is just a giant gap. All right, this is all from overnight sessions. It's very possible that it wants to fill the gap. You can see that very, very clearly on the ETFs. Let's move up into the lower time frame. We'll go through over what happened overnight. It's so messy in here, unfortunately, because we've been sideways for so long. But so far, we are protecting yesterday's view up, held all day. Okay, rejected the view up, rejected the view up, higher low, rejected the view up, trade sideways, then snaps overnight, comes back up, rejects in front of view up, comes back up, rejects in front of view up, comes back up, rejects in front of view up, and then Trump offers a really nice tweet or whatever you want to call it on Truth Social, and Trump absolutely dumps the market. And we're recovering that now. So what does this tell you? Well, the market's on edge. If you get a nothing burger tweet that moves the market 200 points in a couple of minutes, you know we've got a sensitive market. That's the type of market we're in. That means you need to be very protective of your capital today. You do not want to leave big wide stops. If you're the type of trader who gets in the habit of moving their stops, making them wider and wider and wider, you are asking to blow up right now. This market will not be nice to you if you do that. If you're taking a long here and your stop would normally be here and you move it to here and then you give it more room to here and you give more room to here and it does this, that is your account gone. All right, so be smart right now, please, folks. Be smart. You can see on the lower time frame where the triggers are. Same thing, right up here, 420, one stop, two stop, 3 times, 4 times. Okay, these are peaks above, but if we get through 420, we can probably get to 80s, 500s, and then 600s. If we keep rejecting up here, we're looking for a rotation back down into here. If we come down here at the open and bears do not take control and they get stuck down here, don't be surprised to see it come all the way back up, because we are just in a lower side range right now. Not very pretty. Again, not things I like to trade, so hopefully we can get out of it. I'm going to wait for 9:45, 10 o'clock, I think, before I action something. Let's go over the MAG quickly, and I want to go over the ETFs. Make sure you can see everything. Let's move this to a 10-minute. Most of it's probably sideways. All right, Apple stuck between PDC and PDL. Microsoft above PDC. Did it take PDL overnight? No, it did not. Okay, just stuck sideways. You're going to notice a pattern here. Amazon stuck between PDC and PDL, a little bit weaker, but nothing too bad. Google sideways, there's PDC, hasn't swept PDL yet. Meta sideways, just underneath PDC. Nvidia sideways at VWAP, above PDL, but PDC above, it got stuck at. Tesla at VWAP, gapping down. All right, Tesla the weak one there. Tesla gapping down. Everything else pretty much sideways. I just want to show you these cues so that you are aware. Let's move these to regular and you can see these gaps. Let's just take this off for a second, clean this up. Right, you can see these gaps down here. This is where if the market is going to get weak, there is room, especially if I take VWAP off, you can see plenty of room down here. If the market really wants to roll, plenty of room. Remember, we're end of week, end of month. Just remember that today, end of week, end of month. SPY has exactly the same thing. If it wants to rotate today for some reason and start letting go, we have a cash gap down here for it to trade into. I'm not saying it does that. It's just worth being aware of in case for some reason they want to go mega risk off. Move this to a 2 minute for a second. All right, so what I would say is right now we are bearish, being walked down. There's the snap. Until we recover this, I'm not really bullish. All right, if we recover this, I'm maybe counter trend bullish and I'm going risk off into 600s, possibly looking for a rotation, holding runners in case we take out key levels above. That's all I've got today, folks. I'm not going to get chopped up in a range at end of week, end of month on a Friday. No way, Jose. But if we start taking out 420s and start basing above it, I am interested. This very much is starting to look like a sweep. I'd much rather at the open it has one more attempt down here, find some buyers, protects it, and then does this move, because then I know in New York session we've got no reason to come back here. Zero reason to come back here. Hopefully that all makes sense. Let's go through some shout outs in the market, and then I'm going to grab my coffee, which I can hear is just brewed next door. All right, good morning, John Dennis, Miguel, Clint Ramus, Marek. Hey, thank you, Marek. Very kind of you as always. Really, really appreciate this super chat. Richard, Jeff, Willa Williams, MVB, Leron, Ken, Glenn, Capt, Brandon, Tim, Ash, Christy, Mike, Chris Thorne, Bowden, Phenom Z, Thumper, Jesse, Paul, Trentry, JJ, Brad, Raphael, Glenn, Juan Carlos, Bowden. Hey, welcome to the team, my friend. Greg, Tyson, Dre the Trader, Toby, Andrews, Peter, Bartholomew. Can someone silence Trump? I was in such an amazing long that whole day until that post. Sorry to hear that. Indicator, Vince, ERF, Julian, Loff, Callan, DJ Noah, and Luke. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes. So it's a tough market when we drop 200 points in 2 minutes because Trump posts something on Truth Social. It's not an easy market to deal with. Hey, John Dennis with the super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Really appreciate it. You're all very kind today on a Friday. You're very, very kind. Very much appreciated. All right, folks, I'm just going to grab my coffee from next door. We've got, what, 2.5 minutes here, and then I will be back. Don't do anything stupid. Just let's wait for the market to open. Let it pick a direction. We're going to go from there. All right, I'll be right back. All right. So lower time frame flow zones, going into a bit of a buy here. I probably want to come and test where we failed from that 420. That's going to be the trigger over under for me, somewhere around that this morning. We do have news 9:45, 10 o'clock as well. All right, I'm really interested in what the next 4-hour candle does. That's what's going to pique my interest today, more than anything, I think. Market opening here. 20 seconds, folks. No need to rush. All right, we've got plenty of time here, but how we act up here is going to be key. If we protect that low that we put in this morning, then I think there's chance of bullish rotation, I would say. Here we go. Opening print. Yeah, Julian. I mean, how it's so unpredictable. It's he's not making it easy for people. I don't know if he cares. He doesn't care. Let's just face it. He doesn't care about any form of normality. It pops into his brain and he has to put it down on Truth Social. All right, here's the pullback to VWAP. Let's get this New York open in before I forget. Make sure that's right. Yeah. There's the open. Right at POC. Where's the VWAP gone? Let's make sure we got that on. And let's do an anchor off the New York Open. All right, we're all set. All right, so dips holding that into VWAP, into 40s so far. Morning, Nick. There is a seller up at 410s, which is where I'd like us to get. I'd like us to get 410s, 420s this morning. But if we're going to break down to previous day low in the New York session and then find bids there and rotate back up, that's fine. If we're going to stay heavy and create new lows on the session, that's also fine. We're very much can see sort of this morning. All right, so how we act in this is going to be key. We didn't talk about VIX either, by the way, did we? VIX is sideways versus yesterday. It's at 1964s. Same trigger levels yesterday. 20 will be the trigger level, I would say. Jumpy market here. MAG is pretty much mixed bag. Tesla 0.66% down, Meta 0.71% down, Google 0.27% down, Amazon 0.41% down, Apple 0.38% down, Microsoft 0.15% up, Nvidia 0.28% up. All right, so I've got one eye on those this morning as well. Not rushing into a trade here. I want to let it pick a direction, which I think will happen sort of 9:45, 10 o'clock. Once we get out the news, once we have room on the next 4 hour and hourly candle to make a decision, either that reversal for that shift back upside, even if it's just going to be to set a lower high, or if they just want to absolutely wreck everyone. And if we're going to come down for that wick, where was it? 21,200. I want it to pick a direction first. Some strong selling here, trying to get us down to 320. There's a buyer down at 320. You've got previous week open down here at 311, previous day low at 300. That was some strong buying coming in on the tape there in 275s. Let's see if they get follow through for this buyer at 320. My back is very sore today. I'm going to have to go back to see him again. All right, let's see. Market going red, other than Microsoft. It's the only one holding on the MAG. Everything red today. Across the board, I'm looking at ES, NQ, RTY, YM, all red. Gold red. Everything red. So are they going to get a continuation sell today? Maybe. Maybe. If they don't like what they're hearing from Donald, maybe. After a failed breakout of the high, maybe. But the daily just looks... I mean, we're literally in the midpoint of the death range, and I don't really want to get chopped up today. So I will be waiting for something very clear, very obvious. I will be looking to scalp out a bit of a winner, get my stop in the money, and then if it wants to work for me, great. And if it doesn't, that's also okay. What I will not be doing is forcing my way into a 50-50 trade. especially on a Friday. If anyone's taken big losses on a Friday, you'll know what I mean. It is the worst day to take a loss because you have to stew with that loss all weekend. All right, ES coming back into its VWAP, protecting its 5-day moving average right now. SPY doing the same thing. Let me zoom in on the Qs. This is very zoomed out. Qs has a drift back down to 5-day if it wants, which is basically at the previous day low. So here we go. Market coming down. Looks like it wants to pick up that buyer at 310. Very, very heavy in here. When they are coming in, these sellers are accelerating. They're marketing in heavy. You can see it on the book map. Big red bubbles when they're stepping in. They're stepping in aggressively. Okay, that buyer just got picked up down there. There's a bit more down at 300s, but nothing huge now. Like I said, I'm trying to wait for the news. Starting to see a breakdown here on this trend though. Previous day low here, overnight low down here. Globex here if it wants to sweep it in the New York session. 5-day moving average here across the book right now. Literally tapping into it on the spiders and just above it on the Qs. I would think that they're now looking to drive lower at this point and sweep out some of this liquidity lower. A bit late in the day to be taking it short for me, so just going to wait. If they want to stay heavy versus VWAP, I'll consider it. Yeah, just see him just stepped on the book at 300. Thank you for that, Raphael. Yeah, buyer down at 300. That's previous day low. See if they absorb this guy or not. And if they're going to stay heavy versus 300, you can expect a snap back down to Globex and maybe even clean up these lows if they're going to stay heavy. If they protect this, remember we're just dancing in a range. That range is inside this range, and that range, if you zoom out on the daily, is inside, I don't know, day 12 in this range. If pops fail versus VWAP, then you might get a rotation lower, but let's see. Let's see, folks. Selling continuing here in the mag so far. Five-day moving average being protected on the spiders so far. If the next pop-up starts to fail, there might be a deeper wash coming. And you also remember we've got news not too far away. Where are these sellers on the book? Above 400, yeah. Up at 410s. Straighten out my spine. Right, here's the drive. I'd be watching VWAP. If they reclaim VWAP, they're probably going to go for the New York Open. If they reject VWAP, they might try and make a lower leg back down to clean up that buy down there at 300s. Expect whippiness today, end of week, end of month. Do not be surprised if this is a chop fest, especially for the first 30, 45 minutes, while it makes its decision of what next. Still didn't pick up that buyer down there at 300s. He's still there on the tape. Looks like they're going to come for him now. Here they go. So previous day low, almost tagged there. 5 days still being protected here on the spiders. These are sensitive areas right now. Still didn't pick up that buyer at 300. Still protecting him so far. Feels very, very much like they want to wash here, but maybe they just dance back and forwards a bit of time. What time do you have your VWAP anchored from? 9:30. So this is just constantly 24-hour or 23-hour VWAP. So it will refresh every day at the morning print. This blue one is anchored from the 9:30. All right, this is your New York session VWAP where all the volume is the blue one. Green one is basically your 24-hour VWAP. So a battle here in front of previous day low and at the 5-day moving average on the ETFs. Very clear to see on the ETFs, that 5-day moving average. I think they're going to pick up this guy at 300. Sorry, folks. It might look terrible on stream, but my back is in pieces today. I was thinking I'd go back to the gym and try and lift a bit heavier today, but I think that is out the question right now. Morning, Jack. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, backs are the worst. Yeah, it's no joke, exactly. I've had numerous doctor visits and chiro appointments already in the last 2 weeks. It is getting better. Like, I can feel my first ribs drop down a bit, and that's eased some of the neck pain. But my mid back, whatever it's going on, it's trying to, like, you know what the bodies are like. You feel pain one place, they get rid of it, it just starts to move into another place. That's what's starting to happen. Yeah, see, most of them have pulled. He's split his orders up by the looks of it. Some down at 275 now. Like I said, I'm waiting for a trend join, 9:45, 10 o'clock. I think that's going to be an easier play at the moment. So I'm just trying to be patient. 5-day moving average is being protected so far on the SPY and on the QQQ. I think there's a chance for it to move lower, clean some of it up, and then if they find or they trap sellers down there, we can go back upside in range. If the sellers stay heavy on it, there is a move down for that liquidity all the way down into 21,200 if it really wants to. The better move, in my opinion, would be a break of 420 to go higher, reprice some of yesterday's action, and then set a lower high. That would be an easier move. Yeah, exactly. News 9:45 and more news 10 o'clock. That's why I'm saying wait for 9:45, 10 o'clock trend join. They're trying to break that previous day low there. And there's your previous day low getting tagged. We're a little far away on these spiders from it right now. That's your divergence. Yes, with relative strength this morning. Microsoft about to go green to red. Flow zone's definitely heavy so far this morning, but we went heavy into sideways action. Do they want to retest this area down here right now? And if they fail this area, they sweep this. 2 minutes till news here, folks. There's your 300 sweep, previous day low sweep. ES still holding on to its 5-day, not moving lower right now. VIX moving back down sub 1950 or attempting to. You got a small volume node down there now at 940, 295. Can't get my words out. It's too early. 295s. Yeah, just around yesterday's value area low. Oh, man, sorry, folks, I cannot get comfortable here. Oh my god. All right, let's wait for this news. 40 seconds, 45 seconds or so. Get this first lot of news out of the way. See what we get. Looks like they want to attack those lows down there at the moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes your newsprint. Here's your opening range. You now, those white lines, that's your opening range low, opening range high for the M15. So your first 15-minute bar. So if you're looking for the opening range trade, it is here for you if you are interested in taking it. Starting to see them sell this right now. Can they stay heavy versus PDL and opening range will be the question. If they can, you can see an extension down towards the Globex lows. If they cannot and buyers keep stepping in, you will not see that move. Any plan for the weekend? Yes, lots of plans for the weekend. I'm going to see a friend of mine and his 1-year-old baby tonight. We're going to have a movie night and hang out. If it's nice weather today, I'm going to go to the gym and sit by the pool. Tomorrow, I'm going to see Ricky Gervais at the Hollywood Bowl with a couple of friends. And we'll go for dinner first somewhere. And Sunday, as little as possible, probably. Nice and relaxed. What am I going to watch? What? Tomorrow or tonight? I don't know what we're watching tonight. I've left it up to them. But yeah, Ricky Gervais live at the Hollywood Bowl tomorrow. Can't wait. My second time seeing him at the Bowl. Very, very lucky. Oh, movie night. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in charge. My friends are picking it. They've bought a new TV and sound system, and they want to enjoy it. So I'd imagine they've invited a few friends over. All right, back down towards previous day low. Remember, if sellers get stuck here, we get no rotation and we get a squeeze. If sellers step in here aggressively, there is a move lower here. You can think about that opening range. If they snap it, reject it, there is a move lower here to Globex lows, and then underneath Globex lows and that low that we put in the pre-market, we can think about that move to, what is that number that I cannot remember, 21,200. If they keep rejecting down here, if they fail to move lower, then this is where you get short sellers getting stuck. The ES is still protecting its 5-day moving average. It is not willing to let go of that. It's rejecting VWAP but cannot trade through its 5-day yet. So you're getting some choppy action here while they make the decision. 5-day moving average is a moment of safety. Remember, that's your average price for the last 5 days when we trade into that. If they protect that, that's them saying, hey, we don't want to move lower. If they let go of it, next target long term would be a 20-day moving average. That would be a full mean reversal or mean reversion type trade. What a boring open. Literally nothing happened. Seeing sell pressure stay there on every pop, but not seeing follow through to the downside right now. There is a buyer down at 275 now. Oh, my back, man. VWAP staying heavy in this New York session. They cannot get through it. You can see every pop up to this New York VWAP is being sold so far. We're just going to have to wait here, folks. We just got to wait. Just be patient. More news coming in 11 minutes. And then we get that new 4-hour and new hourly candle. And then we can see what it wants to do. It's going to be key. They're going to wash this. They need to step in with some volume versus that opening range. They're trying to step in now. 5-day moving average getting tested again here on the ES. Still lacks follow through right now. There are levels underneath if it wants to clean up. If it just wants to keep trapping sellers down here with no follow through, it will do that as well. It's got a decision to be made. Those sort of 300 levels under over. You can see testing. If sellers don't get their way soon, they will get stuck. They need to see this absolutely dump for them to get their way, I think. maybe back down into the 50s or something. Otherwise, if they keep piling in here without success, then they get stuck, don't they? When the sellers get stuck, we get those bullish moves upside. Here you go. Here's some follow through. So in very small size, just looking to see if we can get down to 70s. If we get through 70s, I'll look to see if we can get to 50s. Not going to let this return back above 95s. So already taking partials out. Like I said, I'm going to be very aggressive today with my stops, and then take some partials. And if we go further, fantastic. If we don't, I'm going to respect that. ES finally letting go of its 5-day here. So here's first target into 70s. That's the Globex low. If we get beneath that, we're watching these stops down here. If we get beneath that, we're watching 21.2. Just going to turn this aircon off. All right, nice. There's Globex. 50's coming up here, folks. So take some partials into this now. Holding runners for the break of 21,260, and then we're going to look for 21,000, sort of 190, 200 if they're going to extend this move lower. But remember, we're being proactive, taking profits here. Once that opening range played, it became a bit easier. ES still hasn't taken previous day low in the New York session yet. We're starting to approach it, so that would be the low hanging fruit if we can take it. I want to get some more off into that move. They're trying to protect 50s right now. I think there's still more room down here. So holding your runners, paying yourself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can we get a deeper drive here? Looking good. Come on, let's get to 20s. There's 40s. There's 30s. Looking to get to 20s here, folks. Snap the low of day and we can get to the 200s. Looking really, really good. Taking some more off there because we swept. The only liquidity left there in the pre-market now is 26. And once we get through that, we're going 200s. Really nice here, folks. Looking good. Make sure you're paying yourself. Like I said, please make sure you're paying yourself on a day like today. Move your stops into the money. ES finding a little bit of a bid just in front of previous day low. I'd like to see it sweep previous day low here. We are into an old gap that we talked about in the pre-market show. All right, think about the QQQ SPY, the old gap. We've just traded into it. All right, so we do have room below. If they really want to get nasty today, we can go and fill those old gaps. We have not filled those cash gaps yet. You will not see them on a daily chart, but if you go to regular trading hours and you look at the ETF, or you go to a 4-hour chart and regular trading hours, you will see them. You can watch a video on my channel on cash gaps. They are there. So we either protect it or we let it go. Still trying to get some continuation. I'm moving my stop down to Globex. Do not want it to reclaim 70s here. What indicator of buy sell? What is this indicator? This is my flow zone indicator, right here. Flow zone system pro. Everything you see here is one indicator. You get it when you do my course. Link is down below if you're interested. All right, need this to fail Globex for continuation lower. If it does not do that, I'm not interested. If we fail Globex, then there's possible for a handle to be built to go lower. If they want to reclaim Globex, they will go and test the opening range low. I do not want to give back that extra 30 points to that move, so I'll cut it and think I can always re-add if they're going to stay heavy at opening range low. Very close to cutting my runners here. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out, which is fine on the runners. Almost. There we go. Okay, I'm out now. And I can always re-add in. That's the thing. Can absolutely always re-add in. Morning, Sloth. Okay, 5-day moving average back test here on the SPY. How long have we got? 5.5 minutes until we get the next piece of news. So you should have locked some good money in there. It wasn't the biggest trade, but we got from 95s down to 36s. That's actually a pretty good trade. That's actually not bad. So you probably should have got some decent points out of that. Maybe 40, 50 points. And let's see if they set a lower high here versus the opening range. If they start reclaiming the opening range, then I'm going to assume too many shorts chased in here and did not cover like we did. So really, you would need this to reject here for this move lower. Failing to do that, and a reclaim can trigger a squeeze to clean these guys out here. So we're in see money, take money environment because we're trading range right now. We are trading range rotation. Do not be holding on for big trend moves unless it proves. I'm really sorry, folks. I've got to roll my back out. Otherwise, I can't sit here. I'm in agony right now. Oh, yeah, I was clicking. I was clicking. If anyone wants to buy me a new spine, I'll take it. Thanks, Aaron. All right, so a little peek above Globex. Getting stuck here again. ES starting to get stuck at its 5-day. There is potential for a move up lower. I'm watching this for a rejoin now. If it's going to create that bear flag to go higher, lower. If it doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to do it. There is a move down to 225 here if it's going to clean it all out. Remember, ES didn't take previous day low yet. So I still think there is a move lower if it wants it. It might not want it. It might want to wait for news. So just waiting to see if they build out a flag here. Any reclaim of opening range, no more short interest for me. Watching ES at the 5-day. SPY is above the 5-day. ES is under the 5-day. QQQ is under the 5-day. NQ is under the 5-day. I still think we're going to clean out these lows. It's just it gets a bit risky biscuits here when we start thinking about short for continuation near the low of day where we had such a big reaction off it earlier. So I do want to be careful thinking about that continuation trade here, especially with news coming in 2.5 minutes. Maybe not the smartest thing to be thinking about. Maybe better to just wait. Watching to see if the book starts to thin out. Imagine they start to pull some of their orders into news and it would get very, very thin, very, very quick. God, it's the most uncomfortable I've been for weeks. Okay, banging back into Globex here. No continuation yet. Building out liquidity. News coming here in 90 seconds. I'd imagine this book will start to thin out. It's not really thinned out too much yet. Wait to see these orders start to leave the tape. Remember, if they reclaim the orb, they can go on a squeeze all the way back up. This can be like a higher low down here versus this. So if this is one big swing and this is your first higher low, they can reclaim and go upside. I would really prefer they just come and take this out at this point, but let's see. Let's see. 1 minute left. How far away is VWAP for SPY? Not too far. Might want to back test it one more time. Book not really thinning out. So most of the orders still on the book here. Let's see. News incoming here now. 20 seconds. All of the mag red now, by the way. I would imagine we're going to go and try and get to those lows. But anything can happen with news. 3, 2, 1. Here's your newsprint. There's the push. Do they sell versus orb, or are they just going to reclaim and squeeze everyone out here? Let's see. Book's completely cleared. I'm waiting to see if liquidity comes back on the book. It was consumer confidence, right? 10 o'clock from memory. It's pretty much in line, expectations. Sentiment 52.2, forecast 51.5. So sentiment a little bit better than expected. I mean, it's final 58.9 versus 58. I mean, it's pretty much in line. 5-year inflation, this is probably the key print. 4.2 versus forecast 4.6. So they think inflation is coming in cooler. 6.6 versus 7.1. That is probably the key print, the inflation print there. All right, so squeeze out here. So once that inflation print dropped, it took a minute. You see that reclaim of the orb. So waiting now to see what they do. ES is back to VWAP here. If they're going to reclaim this based on that print, they can go higher on the session if they want. If they're going to just do a little squeeze out and rejection, we're going to go back down for those lows. But really, that's looking pretty squeezy. A pretty good print there for the bulls in terms of inflation reads. If they care about Michigan sentiment, it surprises me. But hey, I think all those prints are absolutely pointless right now, given that we don't know what's going on with tariffs, which are gonna, whether they believe it or not, will affect inflation. So reclaiming the opening range, rejecting VWAP there. ES peeked through the VWAP, watching to see if it finds a bid now, or if they're just going to sell this straight back down on the ES. And the chop continues. We are back into death chop zones. Unfortunately, this is the kind of market I expect now until we get out of it again. Same thing we had for most of the last 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately. Until we get some sort of positive or negative news big enough to move us out of this, we are not going to move out of it. It seems we're going to be stuck here in range rotation for a long time until they can make a decision. We do have a new hour and 4-hour candle now, so interested what they do. Let's just have a little look at this 4-hour. Coming in and rejecting 320 so far. So 320s key for the 4-hour. Trigger through 320s can get us to 420s. 420s trigger can get us into the old gap. So 320s under over right now, I would say is fairly key. Just based on that 4-hour candle. 24 trades this morning. What, in the first 30 minutes? That's crazy. That's almost a trade a minute. So some sellers here into 25s, they're protecting that 4-hour we just talked about, the old value area low. If we get through that, there is a bigger squeeze available in this market. Here goes VWAP, testing a VWAP coming up. And like we said, those 320s, it's very key. You can see it on an hourly and 4-hour. If they squeeze through this, through 320s, they have the ability to test the opening range high, 390s, and then 420 break for a bigger squeeze. Yeah, I took one trade short side this morning, just waiting to see what happens now. There is a chance that we go bullish here. Well, there's a chance that the 4 hour tries to reprice here. I'm just waiting to see if it does. These 320s are kind of key here, which is starting to see us price through now. So VWAP coming up in this long now. Let's see if we can extend. If we're going to get through VWAP, we can think about all the way up to that opening range high of 390, 400s. If we get through 420, there is a bigger squeeze higher. I want to see us get through VWAP here, moving my stop up straight away. Like I said, see money, take money environment right now. There's VWAP. So I expect us to go all the way to opening range high now if it can sustain a bid. $320s are going to be key, remember. I'm looking at the 4 hour and hourly for this. If we sustain a bid over 320s, I think we go opening range high. Here we go. Come on. Have they got the juice here now? 50s break will give us the next big move, just based on psychological numbers. Here's tapping on 50s, 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 50s. They're trying to build for it. Can we get some follow through, please? Looking for dips to hold now. Over 320s for continuation. If they fail 320s, I'm not interested. Like I said, see money, take money. I'm expecting choppy action today. This hourly's looking a little bit better. Can we get all the way up to the top end of the range? What I'm looking at right now, this underside here, if we start repricing this, we can get to here. If we get through that, there is a bigger squeeze to fill some of this imbalance. Okay, so this is why I'm saying this level right here, where we kept failing earlier, if we reclaim that, there is a move higher. If we think about a 4 hour, right, if we can reclaim some of these old wicks, there is a chance to get to here. If we get through there, there's a chance to get here. Even if it wants to leave a long wick and then price back down, it still has to move up to there if they're going to do it. If they fail 420, then we don't get any continuation. Looking good here, tapping back into 50s. Like I said, I think we can get to opening range high, New York Open here, if we can get going above 320. Yes, almost there already. Relative strength in the spiders this morning. Needs to get through 50s for that squeeze up to the New York Open, the blue line up here, and the opening range high. We're looking good. Just watching that lower time frame algo. I'm just going to close these so I can see my screen a little bit better. There we go. That's a bit better. All right, getting stuck at 50s for now. I still think there's a chance to squeeze up through these. It might need to build a little bit of liquidity out before it does it, but ideally, just a straight ripper right now. Kept you out of 2 losers today so far. Thank you. Oh, that's good, Phenom. Half the battle, right? Well, it's more than half the battle. All right, so watching to see if VWAP holds or really 24s and to 15, somewhere around that. If they dip down there and hold it, still thinking bullish. If they start letting go of it, I'm thinking more chop and probably go risk off. So I still think we can rotate higher here. I still think there is a chance to rotate higher here. I'll move this so I can see my screens a bit better. We've got these hourly highs up at 420s. That's really where I really want to get to. If we get up there, and we can do a bigger move if we start squeezing through there. You are seeing us start to get stuck up here at 350s. That psychological number. I still think we're going to get through it. It's just a question of, does it need to pull back to 320 first before going back up to 350 or not? But New York VWAP is down at around 310. Here's the 50s. Let's go. Let's just get going. Come on, market. You've done your trap. You've done what you need to do. Let's just get going now. So we were short this morning for the opening range trade. Partials into here. Never got to final target. Then we start to pivot. It's reclaimed this. This becomes this. This is extension through here. If we get through here, we should go to here. If we get through that, we should come up to this. If we get through that, there's a bigger squeeze. There's also a possibility of something like that up there. All right, make sure you're paying yourself along the way. I've said it all morning long. I've said it in Discord. It's end of week, end of month. Expect choppy conditions. Pay yourself along the way. Market has shown an unwillingness to give too much follow through for 11 days now. All right, so just make sure you are paying yourself along the way. I cannot say it enough. If you are holding for a huge monster trend, most of the time in this market, it is not coming. Do I still think we can go up? Yes. Do I think we can get 390s? Yes. Do I think we can get 420s? Yes. Do I think they will make it easy for us to get there? Absolutely not. Right, so just be sensible as we trade up there. If you want to take a partial right now into the lower time frame algo where we keep getting stuck, you can do so. I am not doing that. I've already taken one off. I'm looking for this to just rip faces upside. I've already paid myself some money. If it can't do any more, so be it. I will add on dips back down to 20 and 15 if it firms up. So back down into here, I will add if it firms up, if it gives me some kind of reaction. If it sweeps this, holds this, I'm interested in that move to here. This guy here I want to take out. I think we're going to take out the highs. ES wants to take out the high. It just might need to build a little bit of liquidity first, which means they pull back. We can't just go straight up. So I don't even mind if this pulls back at this point. Maybe ES pulls back into VWAP somewhere around there to find a bid. Oh, straight up we go then. No pullbacks. We're getting stuck at that high time frame algo though. We are getting stuck at that higher time frame algo. Just above the 50. This pink line right here. We're getting stuck there. If we can get through that and flow zones get through that, there's a much better trade ahead. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. New York Open coming, then 420s. All I needed was this trade. It's all I needed for today. Shorts got stuck, baby. Oh. Don't fight the tape. Don't fight the tape. We know who's stuck. Shorts got stuck at those lows, and we just caused max pain to them. Oh, baby. I love it when it happens as quick as that. So nice. Blue line should have been your first target, all right? New York Open. We just took New York Open. If we base above New York Open and the opening range high, then I think there's a move up here into 420s. If we get above that, we go higher. This was all based on the H1 and H4. It's why I said I want to wait for 9:45, 10 o'clock, all right, to join a trend. I made it very clear. I said it on stream, and I said it right here this morning. Going to wait for 9:45, 10 o'clock for a trend join today. I think it just made it more obvious on what it wanted to do at that point. All right, so we've just repriced. Look at this on a 30-minute. Fail to break down. Shorts get trapped at the low. Reprice this candle. Beautiful. Get above these wicks here. Where do we go? Here is a fat old gap. Okay, and up here we can set a lower high for bears who are clever to come back in rather than chasing lows. So if we get back up here, we might force that. If we reclaim this, we do this. We talked about this all in the pre-market. I went over all of this before the market opened. One and done. That's all you needed. It's Friday. Very, very nice. So if you want to hold runners, you can, absolutely can continue to hold runners, but your easy low-hanging fruit pretty much got taken into New York. All right, so W's in chat. Let me know if you caught some of that with me. Hopefully some of you caught some of it with me. Hopefully you understand why we did it, which is more important than catching it with me, because you need to understand why that happened. Vince with a W, Paul with a W, BH with a W, Leron, Glenn, Alan, Myron, John Dennis, 1400, love it. In demo count, 5K, nice Jack. Glenn, 2 wins, lovely, yeah, same as me, 2 wins, mate, all we needed. Mike with the W, Luke with the W, Chris with the W, nice Bartholomew, Ken with the W, Adam with the W, Dre the Trader, Owen J, lovely, lovely work, team. All right, still think we have trend continuation here possible. Missed it, had a bearish bias, but didn't lose anything either. That's also fine, Phenom. Missed the big pop, no worries, capped. Persistent pays with the W. Caught, but could have caught more. Hey, we can always catch more. We can always catch more. As a trader, you always sit here saying, I think I could have got more money out of that. W, I think we were opposite. Sellers absorbed at 1503. That's you must be on a different time to me, my friend. And when I refer to time, it's always New York session. Andra, sorry about that. Peter, in long, yes, still in long. It's fine to hold long. You might need it to build out a bit more liquidity now. All right, you might need it to build out some more liquidity now to come and take this guy out, and then 420s and above that could be fantastic. So pullbacks to hold can be great. If pullbacks start to fail and you start to get this, just be very careful for a rotation. Remember, we're inside. We're back inside. All right, so we're back inside previous day and the day before that and the day before that and this day here and this day here and this day here and this day here and this day here. All right, we're inside death chop zone. All right, so in here we expect all this nonsense. Outside of here, great. Outside of here might be great. In here, choppy. So manage your expectations today, folks. All right, on a Friday, end of week, end of month, manage expectations. $10.03. Yes, exactly, Owen. Yeah, exactly. They got absorbed down here. We talked about it. Higher time frame when we're down here. So this can still be a higher low. If they fail to sweep this, shorts will always get stuck. As we approach these levels, shorts will always get stuck if we don't break below. All right, so we took a short from here to here, taking partials down, being protective. I said, considering it here, but you need to be very careful because we've got a news candle and they can get stuck here. So we waited. News candle came, reclaim came, and we went, all right, we're long, thanks. All right, so we have to be flexible. Short for the move down, long for the move back up. As day traders, sometimes I lack flexibilities. I'd say it's a one thing sometimes I get stuck with. I won't fight the tape like I used to, but days like yesterday, I probably lacked flexibility in the morning when I was waiting for that long opportunity, which never came. All right, so yesterday I was waiting for a long opportunity for a bid to show up. For this, never came. Did I take this? Never came. But what we did get, for those of you who hung around, I was long yesterday here. And once we failed this, I was like, right, we're going short for new lows. And we caught this beautiful move on stream together. Sometimes it can take me a minute or two to be flexible. But what you will not catch me do, or you'll not catch me doing, is fighting the tape. We talked about it yesterday. I will not fight a whale because I will always lose. After trapping those sellers, would you call that a huge double bottom on M15? Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much exactly what it is. Johnny Mac with the W's. Reverse head and shoulders on the M1. Yeah, absolutely, Adam. That's exactly what we've got and what we had. All right, so There's one lot here, and there's more liquidity here. And if we break that, we're going upside here. That's exactly what we've got. We use this liquidity here to go up. We can use this liquidity here to go up because these are stops here. If we raid these, you continue up to that 420 mark. Right, so opening range high would be 390. You break that, we're probably going 420 if you break that. Or at least we're going to try to go 420 if we break that. Remember, that Trump candle where he tweeted, that high is 420. So there's lots of reasons to go back up and try and backtest it. Oh, God, I'm having a nightmare, aren't I? Sorry, team. Here you go. Head, shoulder, 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 shoulder. Break this, 420 coming. This is what it's looking to do right now. It's looking to inflict pain on people who were short biased this morning. And that Trump candle came at what time? Like 8 o'clock, 8:09, somewhere around that, off his tweet. We want to reprice that. We're going 420s. Nice. Found your stream yesterday. Great stream, great analysis. I'll be tuning in regularly. Hey, Owen, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming back. Thank you, everyone, for turning up. Appreciate it. I do love working with you guys. I know last week I was getting a bit frustrated. I don't think my back pain has helped my frustration recently. I will say that. So here we go. It's trying to build in for that move higher here. They're looking to force that squeeze up. It's just whether they've got enough people trapped already. Here we go. So your opening range is 90. Break of 90s will probably take you to 400s. Break of 400s will probably take you to 420s. Here we go. Here we go, folks. 90s coming up. 87 being tapped. You want a 90 break here. There are some sellers up here. You're looking for a 90 break for that next leg. If they need to build more, they will just rotate the range back down and try and catch more to go higher. But I still think you look good. If you're still holding runners, you look good. Right at the beginning of the session, we talked about this. Pay yourself some money, move your stop into the money. Right, pay yourself a partial, move your stop in the money, try and let it work. Would you add one more position for longer term, like one trade or so, wait for pullback Fibbo? Oh, you mean, yeah, add to a winner. Yeah, potentially. What I'd wait for at the moment, actually, if I was going to add considerable size, I'd be waiting for us to get above 420. If I'm thinking we're going to go into a trend day, I'd want it to prove above there. I'd want it to prove above there because at that point, I think there's a chance that we can do a bigger move up to 600s. Until then, there's just as much chance that we just wash back and forth. Would you call it a W pattern on a 5 minute? Up here? Probably not. Not yet. Oh, you mean this huge thing? I see what you're talking about. You mean this? Probably not. I see what you're talking about. The W for me would have to be this. So if we get above this middle point and pull back, maybe. I see what you're talking about. It's just everyone has a slightly different interpretation of what they're looking at. All right, market. Up you go. Up you go, sunshine. Nice, strong hourly bar here. Should just keep moving higher. Do me a favor, folks. At least 100 of you have not smashed that like button yet. Do me a favor. Just tap that like button for me. Costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps me grow this channel. Still think we're building to go higher. It's just the question is, do they need to do a pullback into 40s right now first? Waiting to see if there's some liquidity added on the book higher. There is a seller up at 21,500, which would be nice. It would be nice. And we're still in range. Need to respect that until proves otherwise. You've got your initial balance coming in 5 minutes as well, so you should have been paying yourself. You can be totally out of this if you want to be totally out of it. You can hold runners if you want to hold runners, as long as you've paid yourself and you've moved your stop up into the money. I would like to see higher prices today, but again, if it needs to build up more liquidity, it will. But I still think we want to go to break 390 to get to 420. Those are the triggers right now. We need to get back above that New York print, that blue line. We get back above that. This line here. I don't know why it's not showing it as this, but we get back above that, then we look good. And then we should raid the opening range, and then you get an opening range breakout. What you need to be careful of is if we set the initial balance like here or here where we're at, and you have a fail breakout, we go IB rotation to here. But I still think we're going upside. My bias is an upside move at the moment. If they do the rotation to VWAP, they can catch more bids down there. Get a night butt to remind us to save you doing it. What's that? Taking partials. Richard says, Alex, this is my best day ever. I'm up $451 on 2 funded accounts. I'm up $8,000 total. I passed 2 more evaluation today. Your course, coaching and indicator is awesome. I'm not trading anymore today. Hey, Richard, so proud of you, dude. Great work. High five to that. What a lovely way to end the week. That's the type of week you want to end on. You want to close your Friday being like, hey, I've just had my best day ever and I'm killing it. And now you can go and enjoy your weekend without any troubles or worries at all. That's exactly how you want to go into a Friday, right? Go and get yourself a nice whiskey or a cigar or whatever it is that you like doing. Make sure you enjoy the moment and celebrate it. Enjoy that Saturday and Sunday with your family and friends. Go and do things that makes you happy off the screens and come back Monday feeling great. Amazing work. That's what I like to hear. That is a lot of money. People get so much money dysmorphia looking at these YouTube influencers post their gains, but I tell you what, $900 a day will add up very, very, very quickly, especially as you start to scale into more accounts. $1,000 a day is basically $250,000 a year, and you're going to add more accounts, and it's going to get easier and easier and easier. Oh, liking the stream, got you, Bowden. Yeah, maybe I'll get that. Okay, here we go. So retesting 90s. Can we get through 90s for the move? Here we go. Here's your 90s. So if you want to take another partial here, you can. I'm still trying to hold on for a little piece. Most of my accounts I flattened. One of them I'm trying to hold on for a little piece. Let's see if we can get to 420s. And close that gap. ES trying to close its gap as well. It's the other thing to be aware of. Gap fill will be into 408. Remember, so we gap down this morning. If we're going to gap fill, we're going to go to 408. Sorry to hear that, Andres. All right, 13 more likes until we hit the target, folks. Let's get 13 more likes on the stream. Come on, market. Let's go. Want to be careful the danger right now is how it's built. This liquidity is not what you'd want to see. You'd rather it's built like this to go like this. This is opening itself up for a little dump and a catch. I want to be very, very careful. If it can't protect sort of this level here, there's a good chance they can come down into this, wash these late buyers out, and then go up. So I want to be careful in case it does that with my runner. Don't want to give back too much money. We've peaked out at 90s. We were joining this all the way down here. Don't want to give it back all the way to here. Here you go. So starting to see that move happen in real time right now as they try and scare everyone out and take all the bulls who are late to the market out. Same story every day. Shake out the late players, get them to close their positions, gobble it back up, probably to go for the gap fill once they're all out. Initial balance now set as well. Your initial balance is going to be hard to see today. It's basically your opening range, other than the low is way down here. Your IB low is right here. And your IB high is up here. So it's going to be a bit harder to see today. Probably need to thicken that up a bit. There we go. Five more likes, team. 5 of you on stream. Just smash that like button. Do me a favor. How high can we get here? How high can we get? I want to be very careful of a tug. It would not surprise me at all to see a tug, given what we just talked about, how they've built the liquidity. It's not being built as a bull flag. It's not been built too well as a right shoulder, so it's inviting a little bit of a wash lower before going higher right now. It doesn't mean it has to do it, but it's inviting it. Here we go. Can we get through 90s to 410s or whatever that yellow line is? Yellow line is at, yeah, 408. So gap fills to 408. 420 is my final target. If we get above 420, I think we can go 600s. Come on. Just do one absolute rip your face candle, please. VIX trading down, sub 19s coming. That's exactly what I want to see. Come on, get through 90s and just get going. Stop the faff. Stop the faff. Struggling at this opening range high. Does not want to break out of that opening range high right now. It's had 3 attempts to break out of it and has not been able to do it yet. There's a seller up at 400, and then 425, then 450, then 500. Like I said, don't want to be adding up here though. If bulls get stuck up here, adding too much volume up here, we will pull back down towards the VWAP. All right, if they keep adding too much volume up here, we'll do that IB rotation back down to VWAP, and then we'll probably bid off there. Or if they get stuck up here like we keep talking about. White flower, what's white flower? Is that a tablet or something for my back, I'm assuming? All right, so it's starting to try and wash some of these players out like we just talked about. There is a rotation down here possible to rebuild some structure. All right, so if they want to wash these participants out, they come back down here, they catch bids, they come back up here, they do this move here. It's possible that they want to do that right now. If they lack the liquidity, if they lack the ability to go higher, and too many bulls have chased and chased and chased and chased. Remember, we were smart money buying down here for this move. We're not buying up here for the push. Good for muscles, okay. But like, what format am I buying that in? Is it like a tablet or? Thanks for all the likes, team. Appreciate it. Still holding those flow zones for now. Still failing to get through those 90s. Liquid. Okay, cool. I will check it out. Thanks, Jack. Looks more and more like they need to do that rotation down before going up right now. We need to hold a print over the New York opening print, really. That's what really needs to happen. Here comes the rotation like we talked about. So you can see this likely to wash back down to pick some more participants up to go higher, possibly. Probably, I would say, more than possibly. They're looking for a dunk down to take it back higher. Wash all the late balls out. Try and catch this move down. That not us, they will try and catch the move down, absorb it, and then use that liquidity we've just built up at the opening range high, initial balance high, to try and get back up higher. That's the name of their game right now. It's what they want to do. Question is, how deep do they take this move? Man, my back, man. I don't know what to do. It's in so much pain today. All right, is that enough for them? Might be enough for them. Back to the New York Open. If we get through that opening range now, it's going to go. If that's all they needed to do, here's that New York Open. Remember, 90s is the trigger to get to 408s. 408s is the gap through. Fill through that. 420s. Nothing's changed. It's the same name of the game. They're trying to build liquidity to go higher right now. It's what they're trying to do. 90s again. There's the 90s break. Beautiful. Here's the break above the 90s. Can they sustain a bid now above 90s and go for gap fill at 408? They get through 408, we're going 420s. Right, nothing's changed. It's been the same idea, same thesis the whole day. Yes, the same thing, looking for the same thing. It's looking to close the gap. I'm just checking that the ETS haven't closed it. They haven't quite closed either. QQQ got very close there for a gap fill. Right, I'd imagine they will try and absorb this for one more shove. They need to hold above the New York print, really. This looks good. It looks good for it. It looks good for it. They're just faffing around. Here we go. Here's the 400 check. As soon as we get through 400, it should close the gap. That psychological number. The seller there is only like a 20 lot. And there's a seller up at like 20s as well, which is where we want to get to. Come on, me old fella. Up you go, son. Almost there, tapping on 400s over and over and over and over again. '95s, 96, 96, 96. There's no one refreshing up here. It should just have the ability to go higher. It's just do buyers want to step in? You just need one participant to step in here and it will just send it. Just one big player needs to step in. Starting to see some volume try and come in. 97s. Come on. Who's going to come? Anyone going to try? Anyone going to try? Any bull want to have a go at the gap fill? Any big whale want to have a go for us? Failing 400s. I still think it's going to go higher, folks. It's just, have they got the juices? Have they got the cojones? Remember, if we fail this move, it will be an initial balance rotation. If we fail this move, it will be an IB rotation. It will be gross, but it's possible. It is absolutely possible if they fail this move. That's what happens. You would think they go for the gap fill. They got that close, but these markets can do whatever they want. The danger is this, being a failed auction will leave you open for this move to here. And you should want to go and do that. It's a bit like yesterday when they leave that gap open, you expect them to go and do it. They might just do it later. Oh, what the was that? You didn't get that on that print. On my Ninja Trader, I just got a swipe and pull. Oh, and now it's gone offline. Maybe that's why. Data, data, data. You coming back? There we go. Back online. That was weird. You think it would bounce from the 5-day? You think it's going to pull back to the 5-day? I don't think it's going to go back to the 5-day again today. If it goes back there, I think the market's in big trouble. It's already been there twice today. It doesn't need to go back there again. If it does, I wouldn't like it as a buyer. That is a deep tug back to the 5-day. It's basically to low of day. VWAP, sure. Lower time frame algo, sure. 5-day moving average is like right down here. So failed auction so far, inability to move higher. Lacking the liquidity to move higher. We've had the best move. Your Tradeovate froze. Yeah, I think mine was data from Tradeovate, so I wonder if something just went on there. This wants to move higher. It's just it hasn't got the juice at the moment. Does your course cover stop loss placement? Took a loss twice on the way up because it hit my stops. What are you doing with your stops? Stops should be under swings, and when we're extended, they should be trailing. If you're not placing stops under swings, then you're just placing them based on money, and the market doesn't care about your money. It only cares about pivot points. Stop loss placement's fairly easy, really. Like if you're taking this flag, dependent on your size, you're either under this swing or you're all the way back here. If you're taking this breakout, it needs to be under this swing. The moment we pivot up, you're under this swing. We pivot up, you move to here. We pull back, we pivot up, you move to here, and so forth. When we do these extensions like this, I move my stop up aggressively, or I take partials. You should not be doing things like, oh, I'm going to buy here and I'm going to risk $200 based on no pivot point. Market doesn't care about your dollar amount, right? It only cares about where strong buyers and sellers are with volume, which is where you get these pivots. Doesn't care about anything else. But yeah, everything's in the course. Literally everything is in the course. It's something that a lot of traders get wrong. They just think, oh, I'm going to place a bet and I'm going to risk like $200. But $200 with one contract is what, like 10 ticks? Yeah, don't do dollar amounts for stops. You need to know what you're willing to risk dollar amount, but you need to be sizing based on how many ticks you need to risk. So let's say you're taking this breakout here and you want to risk this. You got to be willing to risk from 11 down to, let's call it 70. So that's 50 points. For example, 50 points on one mini is $1,000. So if you're going to risk $200, it's not going to work, is it? Right? That's how I think of it. But if you're using one micro, then you're risking $100. That can work for you. If you're willing to risk $200, you can use 2 micros. Right? So it's understanding sizing versus swing points. Understand your size versus the swing points. All right, so failed auction might be looking to come back down towards where we broke out from, maybe VWAP somewhere around here like we talked about. If we start to rotate, this had to get up here and didn't do it. This was the failure. It's starting to rotate. It's likely to come back down into here, possibly, or here, and then try and bid up and use this liquidity later in the day once it can do it. Question is, how deep does it go? ES has already done the pullback it probably requires. It probably doesn't need much more to do on the ES. So if ES gets going, it will drag the market up with it right now is what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't. Just think, what does the market care about? Does it care about you or me? Does it care about our money? It doesn't care about it, does it? It cares about where liquidity is. That's all it cares about. You have to decide what type of trader are you. Are you the type of trader who likes joining on strong bars and momentum? That's fine. That means you've got a risk under here. Are you the type of trader who's looking to trade pullbacks and you're risking lower and you're trading this? That's also fine, but you've got to understand where your stop out is. Right, market's having one more attempt here. Back to the New York Open, old point of control above. Can it get the juice to get going? Again, nothing's changed. I think this wants to go 390, 408, 420. That is what the market wants to do. That is what it's trying to do. It is just a game now of, can it do it? Has this pullback been deep enough to trap enough shorts in to use their stops to go higher? That's basically the question. Has this pullback got enough shorts to go short, 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 stop higher day, and we use their stop to go higher? Or does it need to come down here and encourage more shorts to come in to go up? The more shorts that are involved in this, the more chance it's got of this move. If this isn't deep enough, it will come lower, right? Imagine we're all buyers from down here looking for this move. Shorts have been adding. If we break down, add, and we turn around, like it's starting to do here, where's their stops? Here and here. What happens when we get through these? They become buyers, explosive move, and we're out and made our money. That's the game. That is the game. Back to New York Open again here. Mag's still not all green. Tesla's gone green, Meta's gone green, Microsoft's green. Weakest one today is Nvidia, 1.72% down. Google, 0.75% down. Microsoft, 0.42% down. Apple 0.25% down, Tesla 0.91% up, Meta 0.04% up, Microsoft 0.11% up. How do I know where liquidity is? Well, first thing I'm looking at is the level 2. All right, so smart money concepts will teach you liquidity is basically above and below swing points, which is true. True liquidity is wherever I see it on the book, because that's not lying to me. But liquidity is always above and below swing points. That's where traps live, right? Above and below swing points. Think about where we bounced from this morning. Where did buyers step in? Here. Is this move strong? Yes. Do we hold the pullback? Yes. We move away from it. Where do we move back to? Where buyers stepped in. So what's down there? Liquidity. So where buyers stops? Under here. All right, buyers stops are under here. If we break down through that and we stay heavy, we're going to go short, but we don't. We bid off it, and shorts get trapped trading into the liquidity pool of buyers. We react off it. Right now, sell stops are up here. We haven't got through it yet. The moment we get through this and this and this and this, we get explosive moves to come and take these guys out. And we get through that, through 420, we're coming up here to 600s. That's what I'm saying. If we get through up here, there's a chance we get into 600s. They might save it for next week, but that's what is potentially possible in this market. If we don't have enough momentum, we will force shorts to come in and use them to go up. If they don't want to do this move at all today, we'll just do this all day long to build liquidity for later. After I finish my exam, Bitcoin has been doing well for me, so I'll get the course. I'll follow market structure. I need to figure out your entries and stops. Yeah, we go over all of that. What exam are you taking? Oh, just cracked my knee. Oh, I've just cracked my knee on my desk. All right, ES coming back towards safety at VWAP here. Oh my God. AWS, as in the Amazon AWS. Yeah, I'll take 1 Bitcoin for my course. Sounds cheap, right? Just 1 coin. 1 coin will do. Those are the days. One point in time in 2019, I had 25 Ethereum. I sold it for 800 bucks. All right, back to VWAP we go here, folks. So failing the initial balance auction, back to VWAP we go. SPY and QQQ following suit. Finding a bid there at VWAP for now. Well, in front of VWAP for now. Like I said, I think they are trying to set a trap to go higher. That would be my gut. Can't be bidding against this. If they want to let it just like completely fall apart, they will. Mag not really participating. Nvidia very, very weak, almost 2% down. If we're going to go into a rotation day, then we're going to do exactly what we're doing now. And up and down and up and down and up and down within the initial balance. Within the initial balance, if we're going to go rotation day. When did my course come out? January last year, soft release for friends. And then I started trading live and doing it more for the public from September last year. Right. right, so back to lower time frame algo, back to deep flow zone pullbacks. VWAP is underneath. ES did just tag it into VWAP, finding a little bit of a bump there. SPY not quite there yet. QQQ not quite there yet. Just waiting to see what we do. Remember, we've had one very nice winner. It is all we need. We do not need multiple winners on the day. If that's all we get on a Friday, we will happily take it and walk away. I'm wondering if they're going to find a way of trapping down here. Take care, buddy. Have a good weekend, Jack. Here we go. Watching this carefully now. If they're going to trap and go, I think we get it. Here we go. Want to see it just rip through 80s and 90s at this point. Don't want hesitation up into the New York range. Here we go. Now you understand the liquidity trap. How many shorts can we get involved and then turn around and take it higher? Here comes New York Open. I've been in this game too long. I know exactly how they like to operate. New York Open now will become key. If we can trade through New York Open, we can go through to the opening range and trade up and over that. So ES back to VWAP was the key. And we should squeeze him out now. ES will be key here. If ES can drag the market, we should squeeze him out now. This is their chance to do it. They have the chance to do it now. So 90's coming up here. What do we just tag? Like 89 or something? They've given them the opportunity to close this gap now. And 390s goes 400, 400s goes 420, 420s potentially goes 600s. My plan is definitely not selling, no. At no point have I said I'm looking for a short. At no point. I'm looking for bears to get trapped right now in this market. The only thing that's worrying me is Nvidia. I'm looking to see if this pullback holds. I'm not looking to initiate a trade until we get back above that opening range and initial balance. I do not want to get chopped up in rotation between the two, but I'm looking for them to trap bears down here for a rotation. If they don't trap the bears, they just had another attempt to get through New York Open and didn't do it. So I need to observe that and be like, okay, well, we didn't do, it just had an attempt to do it and just failed again, which is not good. They just caught all those bears and didn't even make it back above the New York print. So that New York Open is becoming key. We've traded to it. How many times now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are above 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 attempts to get a base above and failing. My thesis is somewhere down here we will set a bear trap. That's what I think they want to do. Not down there. That's way too deep. Somewhere down here, my thesis is they will set a bear trap. And I'll be looking to join once we do this move here. Because then I've got confirmation. If they cannot do that move, which they just had another attempt to do and failed, then I won't be joining. I'm not looking for a bearish rotation right now. I'm not playing initial balance rotation into here because we've left this open. I do not like, this is very much like yesterday. We've left a gap open. I would rather not take a trade and wait for confirmation than take a trade with that gap open. I think it's a little bit risky. Like I said, already absolutely nailed my moneymaker today, so not too stressed about it. Still think the game is to build liquidity right now to move higher. I think that's the game. I could be wrong. They might just not have the juice on a Friday and be like, hey, we're calling it a day. Can also happen. We are expecting choppy action. I will repeat it because I think you might be new to the channel. End of week, end of month, inside a 12-day choppy range. We are expecting choppy action. We are not expecting this market to make it easy for us today. Quite the opposite. We're expecting them to make it a pain in the butt to do anything. I would imagine a lot of traders losing their shirts right now. Or Trump, yeah. I haven't actually checked to see if there's been any more tweets or anything. I don't think there has. Yeah, Nvidia cannot get going today. Almost 2% down. I still think this is what they want to do. My worry is how many times do they have to have a go at it, you know? That makes sense? How many times are you going to have a go at it? Not seeing anything from Trump on, well, not on Twitter. I don't have Truth Social, but I do have an account which like reposts it. But I'm not seeing anything, not yet anyway. Yes, trying to find a bid off VWAP again. This is just, we're into very, very choppy territory, aren't we? Just nothing, no follow through. And we have to respect that. When there's a lack of follow through, we have to respect it. If it can't do it, we have to respect it. If it can do it, I'll join the trend. Until then, I have to respect it. I want to see it print well above the 80s and 90s and really just show me it's ready. USA supplied crude oil and petroleum products fell in March to the lowest since March 2025. They were repricing that last kill candle there. They need to reprice through it for any bulls to take control. There's just no control in the market right now. Starting to get a little bit bored here. We've got an hour left, and I'm starting to think that there's no participants here in this market. Have they all gone for the day? Take care, Julian. Have they all gone for the day? There's a buyer just showed up at 325, so he's trying to drag the market down to 325 right now. Not what you want to see if you're looking for that rotation back upside. No impetus, no bull stepping in here. VIX is trading back above 1920s now. I think better just to be risk off and wait right here. Just to be flat and wait. We might just be, it might be a one trade day today, folks. It's probably looking like a single trade day right now. Yeah, I've seen him earlier. He's been there, but market not showing any reason to go up there right now, Raphael. Again, we can't get up there unless we get above the New York print, above the initial balance high, above the previous day close, and above that Globex level. We haven't even got through 400 yet, let alone 420 for a possible stop run to 5. So while I would love the market to get there, it's not like he's got 500 lots up there. I mean, it's only 80 lots, and it's showing very little signs of waking up. This market right now, it's not waking up. It's asleep. Really, like if you disregard this high, if you think most of the range has been in here from 60, we've been in basically a 25-point range for over an hour. All right, we're now under that range. If we come back in this range, we'll probably do this. We failed here. Do we fail here? Maybe, and reclaim and go in here again. This is a 25-point chop range. No continuation, no follow through. 25 points. We used to do that in about 5 seconds. We've now been in 25 points for an hour. Well, I don't see what good news Trump's going to come out with. I don't think there's a possibility of him saying anything good. There's only the possibility of him saying something bad, right? That's not me against him. Just think about the macroeconomic events. Why did we go mental 2 nights ago? Because they ruled that his tariffs are not legal. Okay, so you remove the tariff implications on the market. We go upside. He comes back and says, well, actually, I'm going to take this to Supreme Court. We go back downside. He's not going to come out and give a statement like, hey, the tariffs are off. There's no way he's going to do that. We talked about this yesterday. He would rather die than have something like that happen. He is a very belligerent man, so he will battle and battle and battle, or in his words, fight, 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 for him to get what he wants. There's no way there's some positive data coming out of him. Right now, I don't think there's anything that he can say which will positively impact the market. Let's have a look what happened when he did a Truth Social post this morning out the blue. This is what happened. This move, right? This is not, he cannot say anything positive right now. It's just not what his stance is at the moment. In my opinion, it's just my opinion, but in my opinion, I don't think there's anything positive he can say at the moment. Can this market squeeze up? Now, that is the question I'm posing. It's the only question I have. Can this market squeeze up? Can we go 380, 390, 400, 408, 420? It is trying again off VWAP on the ES. I would like to join if it can prove itself. Would love to join if it can prove itself. There is a seller here, refresh seller here at 72. They've stepped in twice now. No follow through again. Something will give soon. We're back inside that range that we spent the last hour in again. This is where we had a kill candle. Twice now they've priced into here and found sellers. If they reprice that kill candle, then those sellers will get stuck. If they keep failing here, we can rotate lower. There's no way he's going to say, like, I actually can't believe the nonsense he came out with this morning. It's actually quite hilarious. I don't know if any of you read that Truth Social post, but I find it quite hilarious. The arrogance of the man is ever growing. I'll read it to you. That's why the market didn't like it, because they were just like, what are you on about, mate? 2 weeks ago, China was in grave economic danger. The very high tariffs I set made it virtually impossible for China to trade into the United States marketplace, which is by far #1 in the world. We went in effect cold turkey with China, and it was devastating for them. Many factories closed, and there was, to put it mildly, civil unrest. I saw what was happening, and I didn't like it for them and not for us. So sorry, you implicated that. You said you saw civil unrest, and then you said you didn't like it, all because of something you did. I mean, it's amazing. I made a fast deal with China in order to save them from what I thought was going to be a very bad situation. Oh, now he's a hero. All right, so he's a hero, even though this happened because of his decisions. Because of this deal, everything quickly stabilized and China got back to business as usual. Everybody was happy. That is good news. The bad news is China, perhaps not surprisingly, has totally violated its agreement with us. So much for me being Mr. Nice Guy. I mean, it's mental. I would love to get inside that guy's brain for a minute. Okay, failed breakdown again. Shorts trapped again. Possibly now we get that move. It is starting to break above and reprice that kill candle we just talked about. I would say it's got to get through 77s or so. We might just might as well keep calling it 80. It's got to get through these levels up here where we died from. All right, that's the stop run. This is the fail to make a new low. Right here. Why has it done it like that? Failing to make a new low. Stop run of the high. This is where supply is. It's got to get above these for me to be interested to be a buyer. I think this is controlled selling to go up right now. I still have that same thesis. I think they are trying to trap bears down here to go up. The question is, are enough bears trapped for them to do this move? That's what I think they want to do. I will not guess that move. I've got my thesis. I will wait for them to show me that's what they want to do, because if it fails, I don't want to be bidding. But I think that's what they want to do. I don't think he's got dementia. Like, there's lots of things he does which I totally agree with. What I don't agree with is like how he handles himself. Like, I don't think it's right. I wouldn't post about someone like that on social media. And I'm a no one. I'm not president of the free world. I think that's what I find kind of weird. Like, using social media, it's almost irresponsible. I mean, look, let's take worst or best case scenario, depending how you view this. Okay, let's take worst or best case scenario. Okay, so we are here last year. Trump starts presidency campaign, gets in, rally, all-time highs. Beautiful. Froth. This is frothy action. We know that this is not sustainable, but this is very frothy action. Out of nowhere, he comes in with monstrous tariffs. All right. We go from 2025 highs to 2021 pivot. Let that sink in. 2021 pivot. This is November 2021. So 2022, 2023, 2024. 3 years of price action gets destroyed in 3 months. Okay? 3 years of price action gets destroyed in 3 months. How many participants in the last 3 years lost their shirt in this move? A lot. All right? A lot of people got liquidated in this move. We get down here, and he says on Truth Social, now's a good time to buy. Also irresponsible. All right? He also promises in this move here, this fake move up, all right, we have it come out that we're going to pause tariffs. Okay, and then he denies it. We come back down. And then on the third day, so these 2 days, this one's true and he lies. This one is a straight up lie. And this one we rip up higher. And he wants to claim the best day in the stock market ever. All right, yeah, it's a 10% rally after you've wiped out 3 years of price action. Okay, so let's just understand what's happened here. Let's think of market makers. Anyone who got wiped out here sold to insiders down here who started to buy. All right. And I know other people bought, including myself, but insiders really bought down here heavily. And then we start to pivot up, and these tariffs start to get paused and paused and paused and paused and start to dissipate. And we get up here. Now imagine that it gets passed in Supreme Court that what he's done is completely illegal. Do you think he fucking cares when what he did was transfer the last 3 years of wealth to people who he liked, probably? He doesn't care, really, if Supreme Court rules this is illegal, because the damage has been done. The money has been made, right? This is not a normal market. This here, this move we've done from April to May is the same size as 2021 to 2025. Let that sink in. From April to the end of May, in 2 months, we've done a 3-year move. So if you're coming to this market new and you think this is normal, this is anything but normal in this market right now. It is not a normal market right now. It's really important that you understand that. It doesn't matter on your opinion on who you vote for or anything like that. I'm not digging him out for his politics or anything like that. I'm trying to just make you see. Try and be neutral. Try and step away from the political side of it. Focus on how money moves. The job has been done, right? The job is always to... This is no different to what I'm talking about here. We get frothy... Look at this. Okay, let's say this plans out. This morning, buyers get trapped up here. So we're smart. We buy down here and here. Buyers get tripped up here to buying, tricked into buying, and we go down, all right? And we make all of them sell. All right, let's just say this plays out and we buy it and we go back up here. Look at this pattern. All right, we sell this morning, we buy, we trap, we buy lower. Let's go back to the daily. It is exactly the same as this being the froth, this being the force down, this being the move back up, right? It's the same principle. That's what I mean when I say markets are fractal. It's exactly the same principle. That is how you transfer wealth. The game in the market is transferring wealth. How do we do that? Via liquidity, all right? That's how we do it. It doesn't, this is not about individual politics. It's not about anything like that. I'm not picking a side. I don't care. I don't vote for either. I literally don't care who you vote for. It makes no difference to me. All right, you're all nice people. I am not judging any of you. I'm trying to just make you understand how we transfer wealth and money. Because the market prices in future stuff, all right, we're trying to price in ahead. That's why we buy the rumor and we sell the news. So the moment we hear about the tariffs, we force the market down, all right? The moment the tariffs get paused, we push the market back up. The moment we hear what he's done is illegal, we break out. The moment we hear he's going to battle Supreme Court, we give the move back yesterday. All right. So try and get into that understanding of cycles. Try and remove your personal opinion on politics out of it. The market doesn't care about what color your skin is, what color your hair is, who you vote for. It doesn't care. It wants to take your money. It really wants to take your money. It's not that I think he's a good or bad person. I find him interesting. I find some of the stuff he does reckless, I would say, is the best way of me putting it. Not necessarily because he always has ill intentions, but I think things like, I feel sorry for people is the best way I could put it. And like, I feel sorry for the guys at their desk who are trading this up. They're not ready for a social media tweet to do this. I think that's what I'm talking about. Like, and that's for anyone in power. That's not just about him. If anyone does an unprecedented tweet out of nowhere and it causes this, I feel sorry. It would be nice if the market, in fairness, didn't react with such, volatility at that point, because it shakes people out very, very quickly. And you can tell it's a nonsense move, because if we just zoom out here, make sure I'm on the right chart, we're trending nicely. I think there were guys in my room that were looking to buy dips on this trend line. All right, I wasn't awake yet, but here you go. All right, and then you are not ready. If you've got a buy limit here, you're not ready for that. And there's a good chance if you have a buy limit here and you'll stop here, you're not getting filtered down here, because that's so quick. It's so quick. And now what happens? Double bottom all the way back up to point of origin. All right, so just try and leave the actual politics out of it, and try and, like, it doesn't matter if you're Democratic or Republican or you're Christian or you're Hindi or you're Buddhist, like, the market doesn't care. Try and leave all of that out of it and just see the market for what it is. On low time frame, it looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Yeah, in here right now, this is exactly what I was looking for. And we went over it earlier. You might have missed it, Raphael. This, be nice if this built, but this is starting to play out more. These buyers here are starting to be stuck. If they don't trap, this is what I'm saying. I want to join up here. I want to join. I think this is the difference in how I trade versus some other people. I want to join. I'm not looking to buy on this move down. I want to see them trapped, push, pull, hold, right? I want to use this pain up here as a reason to go higher. I am not big enough to absorb this tape to cause this to happen. So I need to see someone else come in and absorb it and then play it afterwards. Because if they fail this is your initial balance. There's your initial balance. There's VWAP. We've done rotation 1. If they're going to do rotation 2, it is possible to come back down here. And like I said, I'm not looking to play that today. And I also said sometimes I can't pivot quick enough to what I want. So we got this move here. That's it. I tried to hold on one account for an extra push. We didn't get it. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Willa. And I actually think he's a smart man. I think people... I think there is a plan to the madness. Let's put it that way, kind of thing. I think he plays a character the whole time. I don't think he's necessarily like the character he plays. All right, VIX starting to find a solid bid here for a trade up to 1950 on the VIX. We are coming back to that previous day low. I'm becoming less and less interested in this market. It feels very much like what we warned about at the beginning of the day. End of week, maybe we go into chop. One thing I am aware of, just zooming out and looking at the ETFs, we might be in some very big kind of channel here. Something like that. It is still possible for this to go lower, but I'd need to see liquidation of this or this move into here. This player here and this player here. I'm not convinced we see that today. I'm still think that this is a choppy day looking to go higher right now. That is still where my head's at. It just bounced off value area low from yesterday. We reclaim these, I think I'd be watching this right here, this same thing, and waiting for pivots, waiting for reclaims of levels. If I'm zooming out right now, I'm thinking, okay, who's stuck? Sellers are stuck here. Short sellers are stuck here. Buyers are stuck up here. All right, we've had one trade from where sellers are stuck to buyers. Right now, I guess they're trading from where buyers are stuck to sellers. I'm not really keen to participate in here today. We've had a good trade from there. I want to participate out of here or out of here. I do not want to this is your no trade zone for me right now. Well, that's it, Cap. Yeah, and I do agree with that, Captain. I do have friends who have gone out of business recently because of it. And I think that is really tough because this, you know, when we think about, we go, oh, all the people that we're looking at as traders that we're looking at is the Mag 7 and these big companies. But what about your neighbor, you know, who's owns a product, produces a product, and maybe imports some of that product to sell on? What about them? They're fucked right now. Pardon my French, but they are. Like, it's sad. They've lost their businesses. And when you combine that, if you understand where we're at as a country, we have the most credit card debt in the history of the United States. Just talking about the States right now. So they can't go and get a new loan. They're maxed out. You know, they're going to start foregoing stuff. How long before they give up their homes or go bankrupt? It is sad. I do agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Yeah, that's it. The little guy always gets hurt. In every decision, always, the little guy always gets hurt. Look at this bounce. I still think that buyers want to take this higher. It's just, I'm very much struggling to find a way of getting involved in this right now. So back to the 50s. Do they go 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? They probably need to hold bids into 35s here, the buyers, if they're interested. Otherwise, we go back down lower. You can see this channel. You can just wait for it to start to pivot and become clear, if at all. It might not do it, like we talked about. It does not have to do it. ES trying to find a bid. I'd say those 912s the last few days have been pretty key on ES. What is that level right here? Yeah, 912s. 912s have been a big level for a few days, over under on ES. It won't be about, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it, Peter? And also, if you take away the the China effect on Nvidia, they still had growth. I think they had like 8 billion growth, because 8 billion of it got vacuumed up by the tariffs, which is pretty amazing. It will get bid up again. It's just a waiting game. Can this be the move I talked about upside? Yeah, it might be the start of it. It's too early right now. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. It's potentially setting up for it, but it's not there yet. Remember, buyers right now are trapped somewhere here. I'd say this level here is basically where the buyers are trapped. From here, if you were to use a 1MA, it looks like this. All right, so you will need something like this for a lower time frame flip, and really you want to reclaim of these levels for something else. Otherwise, can still continue to do this. It can still do this right now. It's still protecting this channel for now. So we don't trade what, like, I've given you the thesis, but it's not playing out yet. Seeing the pattern is one thing, waiting for that pattern to actually play out and emerge is a whole different ball game, right? Yeah, I know. I mean, Nvidia's just a wild beast. I think buyers will step back into the market. They're just, in general, waiting for some certainty again. I think that's all it is. Not long till lunch. Right, we just absorbed there, interestingly, off that VWAP. It's starting to shape up like it might want to go here, folks. It's not there yet, but it's starting to shape up like it might want to go. That wick down and absorption is starting to break this trend line now. There is a strong possibility that we're looking to go here. It looks very whippy here, so there's a battle. I would be, if you're playing ES, watch those 12s or those 12s 50s. I think that is a key level. There is a big seller back above 400 now. He's come back in, so they do want the market to go up there. You got 3.5 minutes until you get a new 15-minute, 5-minute, and 30-minute bar. That will probably be telling. My bias is still upside. It hasn't changed. It's just not set up yet for it. But the bias for me is still for that move upside. Looking good here. Starting to set up better. Here's the 12 levels on the ES that I kept talking about. You get acceptance over this, there's a good chance of a squeeze. It's been a big level for not just today, numerous days, these 12s. There's 13s, it's looking for it now. Does it get acceptance here on the ES? Here's 1350s, it's trying. NQ's trying to join in as well now. So you want to watch NQ through 75s. That's where you've got some stops up at 75s. If we get through there, we're looking for that New York open. If you're joining this now, that's absolutely fine. Just manage your risk though, because we've started to go away from the lower time frame and the flow zones, and we haven't offered a pullback yet to be absorbed. Yeah, I see that. That's what I was just saying. Yeah, I think he wants to get hit into 412s. A big level on ES, still trading around those 12s. Market wants to go upside though. I do think it wants to go upside. Just gonna have to use the bathroom here quickly, folks. I'll be right back. Looks good though. Okay, almost there. It had a swipe there, didn't it? It's trying. Where did we fail? 80s. It's got a shot here, folks. I think you've got a shot here. Maybe some of you have been adding on that last pullback. I don't know. It has got a shot here to do it. This is the attempt. This is what we talked about. Remember, we talked about this move down. This pivot here needs to hold up through here. And then we use this liquidity at that point to go higher. Very nice. Just had to wait for it. Like I said, you have to be patient, wait for it. We're starting to reclaim the levels now. So if we start chomping through this supply that we created, looking left intraday supply, we should be good. Nvidia's still 2.15% down. Tesla's green on the day. Meta's just gone green on the day. Microsoft green on the day. We're trading back into this New York open level. Remember, these 80s have been key. We have failed to print and hold above 80 all day long so far. So it would be nice if we get one more good trade here. That seller just left the book, by the way, at 12s. He's gone. Yeah, trading tool. We're looking for a long. We've been looking for a long all morning. I don't know if you're staying on the channel or if you're going backwards and forwards, but we've been looking for a long all day. Not once have I said I'm looking for a short yet. Like I said, shorts will come if there's a clear failure under VWAP to low of day for a big, big fail down there. Until that point, I'm not looking for a short. I do not want to get trapped in the chop in between the range. I'm waiting to see if this offers a long setup. So it's failing those 80s again. Clearly refresh seller at 80s. Back to VWAP we go. If they can't hold bids down here, it's going to get nasty for these bulls. The chop continues. Pretty big volume on that move down there, folks. One of the biggest volume candles of the day. Just be careful. ES back to VWAP. SPY back to VWAP. Still not in it. Still not reclaimed the levels I want. Still just got to wait. Back to VWAP here. Do they sell this now for continuation or do they trap these sellers for a squeeze out? Very hard to trust this market right now, given how it's moving. I want to see if any news hit there at all. Yes. Okay, White House is talking right now. Risky if you're going to trade this. White House Deputy Chief Staff Miller. China didn't fulfill obligations made to US. US Trade Representatives Gear and Lutnick will provide details on China. If they start saying we're going to hammer China with more tariffs, you better watch out, because all of this will go to absolute shit. Any trade thesis will go out the window. We've confirmed progress with the US in trade discussions. That's from Japan, not from China. Just be very careful here, folks. If they start saying some big negative stuff about China right now, we might go risk off. We get details, we might go risk off. We're having White House representatives talk right now about China. I didn't have that scheduled. I don't think. I'm going to triple check in case I've missed that, but I don't think I had that scheduled. No, nothing scheduled. So that's just in response to his tweet this morning, but they are now live talking. When are they providing details, though? How can you come out and say US Trade Representative Greer and Lutnick will provide details on China and then say nothing? What does that mean? Give us some certainty in the market, please, America. Be reasonable people. We would like some certainty in the market. We would like to know what the details are and when you're going to provide them. Otherwise, this is the market condition we get. If you've been looking for longs and suddenly the market gives you clear indications to go low like now, will you consider short? Yes, absolutely, because your previous long buy. Yeah, exactly. You have to do what the bias is. But really, look at the first 15-minute candle of the day and then look at where we are. Look at the initial balance. Look where we are. There's the reason I'm not pulling trigger right now is because I don't like where we are. You had a feeling. I mean, Miguel, there's nothing wrong with taking this versus this. You're going against momentum, but if you're playing for initial balance, that is a legit trade. It's not what I was looking for, but I'm waiting for this, remember. As long as you're managing risk, it's okay. The US and Japan have deepened their understanding of each other's positions, made progress towards a deal. Taking the initial balance, yeah, we talked about it yesterday. I even said yesterday, you can take this trade. I'm not going to take it. Like, they are legit setups. Whether you want to take it or not is a whole different ball game, but they are legit setups. There's a reason that they're there. And we are in a rotational day. It's probably a better day to be trading for that. I'm trying to wait for us to break outside of that, because what I'd really like is a move basically from 400 to 600. This is starting to look a little bit heavy down here, but this is where we found buyers into 76s this morning. But I'm just wondering if this China news is going to scare this market out. But who knows what they're going to say or when they're going to say it, because White House keep coming out with statements with zero detail. Crazy, 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 crazy stuff that this White House does. Just watching right now Financial Juice to see if we're going to get some details here, because that statement scared the book, I can tell you that much. Buyers down at 275 right now. We're back into 300, which is previous day's low. We start snapping 275, which is where we found buyers this morning. We're going to make a new low and run for initial balance low. Not for me. Not for me. We're not on the 5-day yet. Oh, actually, you're right. The NQ is, sorry, the SPY is not on the 5-day. Oh, Raphael, maybe you're right, eh? You said we are going to come down there. But I did say if we come down there, I don't really like the longs. You might be right. That's twice in a row you've been right, I think, about a level that I didn't think we'd revisit. Again, I don't like the longs off it, though. Feels dangerous. I don't understand with the White House how you can come out and say things like that without detail. So you said you're going to give discussions and details on it, but there's nothing planned for these speakers. So how am I supposed to know when you're going to provide these details? Just checking to see if they've added it to the... Nothing there. Nothing in the time schedule for them to say something. Feels like we're just going to go lower at this point. it feels like we're just going to trade lower back towards his previous day low now. Like I said, if we snap this and we snap 75s, we're going to make new lows on the day. I think we're going to go all the way back for the initial balance low if we start breaking down here. I would not be thinking about a long down here right now. Not with the momentum that we've got, not with the news that just came out. Previous day low letting go now. I think we trade at least into 80s at this point. So 100-point rotation. Oh, God, I can't take this. I'm on mute. No. I don't think so. I can see my voice. Can everyone hear me? No, just you, DK, I think. There you go. Here's the snap into the area where we broke out from this morning, 78s, remember. If we break below that, we're probably going to go for those double bottoms down at 235s. Big levels here. Big, big, big levels here. No update yet from the press secretary now in the White House. Just a fucking large statement followed by no detail. So back to previous day low. Do they back test a level here? Do they find some bids here and go all the way back to view up? I have no idea. We're still trading inside the opening M15 candle. Nothing has changed. And my back is still on fire. Yeah, that 275 is right here. This is where we broke out from. This is where buyers showed up this morning. This is what they want to protect. If they can't protect it, we can sweep these guys out. So far, we've just done this. This failed. As soon as they came out with that statement, it scared the market. Do they buy it back cheap here for rotation? Or do they let it go for continuation? I have no idea at this point. I'm really not interested in trading it at this point. My worry is that they come out and make some statement like, yeah, we're going to add on, we're annoyed with China, tariffs are going back to 150%. What happens if they come out and say that right now? That's my concern about taking a trade right now. The risk from that statement that the White House has made without any details of when they're going to give these finer details. I mean, does anyone know when Greer or Lutnick is talking? Because I cannot see it on a schedule anywhere. Nvidia now 3% down, by the way, folks. That thing's getting tanked today. ES trading right into its 5-day, finding a bid. I think there's a chance for us to move lower here, especially if they say something nasty. That is my gut instinct right now. I think we can lose a bid pretty quickly here, especially if they say something nasty on China. Remember, all eyes have been on China the whole time. Looks like it's trying to break down here to me. 5-day tap again on the ES. SPY still not there. QQQ is there. SPY's not there yet. Momentum's very bearish after failing that high. Very, very, very bearish after failing that high. We're into a level of demand, so I don't really want to initiate short here. Yeah, that's exactly it, Willa. That's exactly my trouble. They give a statement like that and then give no details about it. Very difficult. I wouldn't normally care, but that is a big subject matter to say. After Trump's response this morning, you got to think it's not going to be saying something positive about China, is it? It's going to be something very negative about China. Okay, back to previous day low again here. So far, we've absorbed here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. There is still a buy down at 725s. I still think we can move under this whole range today. I still think there's a good chance for this whole thing to let go because they're probably a bit scared about headline risk right now about China. So my thesis from looking for bullish rotation has gone. I will consider it if we get back up here again. But we've never got up there. We just failed. We've never got up here. Headline came here and they failed it. The risk now is that this starts to let go and cleans this out. And if we do that, we come all the way down to here. And it's headline risk. And we're, what, 13, 14 minutes away from lunch. So you can see the levels right here. I would say these are the levels where bids have come in. That's what they're protecting in front of right now. All depends how much fear is in this market at this moment. We were looking good for the bullish move up, and that shook the market, that comment. White House staff end remarks. Okay, great. So they've ended remarks without any details. This is what I mean about irresponsible. I think things like that are irresponsible. So if they come out now, out the blue, and make a comment on China, market just pukes. Because twice today it's done it. So how are we supposed to trade anything with confidence right now? I definitely can't, knowing that the market's in fear of a comment. Yes, finding a bid off that 5-day. Maybe it tracks back to VWAP here. Possible. Possible. Oh, my back. I don't even feel like far forward, but my back's making me feel like I'm leant over in the mid of my spine. It's so painful. All right, market. I don't think I'm going to get another trade here. I think it's going to be that one and done for me, folks, unfortunately, today. We were looking good for building into that bullish bias, and that headline has changed everything. I don't fancy bidding inside this M15 candle that we've had from the start of the day. Nothing's changed from that very first candle. We're in just a choppy day here. Looking for one more green trade for the week, red for the day. And just don't force it. Just because you're red, you've got to learn to walk away. If you're trying to take a green trade because you're red rather than an actual setup, you will get hurt. Just remember that. Yeah, exactly, Bowden. It's annoying, isn't it, when they do that? ES trying to trade back towards VWAP right now by the looks of it. Like we just said, might come and back test VWAP. If he gets through VWAP, it's got that kill candle, which came out of nowhere. to reprice. Remember, they wanted to go upside. The headline changed everything. If they're not worried, I think, like you said, market is waiting for any news because it had to show you what they want to do. They don't dare do so. Yeah, they're scared. That they are scared in this market right now, and I do not blame them. It's like, I always think, like, we are tiny traders. Imagine trying to trade with millions or billions of dollars on the line, where you're getting, swipes of 200 plus points off a post on Truth Social, or off someone saying, oh, they're going to give comments on China later. I mean, we dropped from 380, we dropped, I don't know, 80 odd points off them saying we're going to give comments later. Not here are the comments, we're going to give comments later. It is kind of wild when you think about it. I wouldn't want to be a bank. And the chop continues. 8 minutes left. I think ES wants to back test VWAP, and then it needs to see if sellers are there. If it pops through it, it's going to reprice that candle to 910s. Q's doing the same, trying to get back to VWAP here. Choppy day. Just make sure you're zooming out. Look at an M15 and M30. It's just choppy day today. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Bowden. Yeah, it's just tough, man. It's what happens. Why I said beginning of the day and in chat this morning in Discord, you've got to move your stops in the money when you're up on a trade and take partials, because they will do nasty moves like this at the moment. It's one of the first things I said. I don't know if you're done the course or in Discord. It's one of the first things I said, and I said it numerous times this morning. Right. Projecting in front of VWAP there. ES got to just in front of VWAP as well. This is just messy, man. Messy price action. I have zero read on this because we're inside right now, so that's why I'm not going to make any call out here. I just think this is very, very dangerous to trade at this point. When they have had the ability to do something and failed to do it numerous times, and then finally gone back to do it and a headline shakes it out, you are at risk of headlines changing everything right now. I have no idea when they're going to talk about this China deal, if at all. It could just be an absolute fluff piece from the White House. That also would not surprise me. I have no trust in this White House right now either. I think you just see inside chop all day today. So just manage your expectations like we always talk about. If they take it back to highs now and break out, I'm not going to trade it. I'll just miss it, and it will just show that that headline fucked everything up for us, and that's what happens sometimes. You can't always get it. Unfortunately, there's so many variables with the market. If they reject the view up here, there's a good chance we go lower. If they don't reject the view up here, then we're probably going to go all the way back up and test those same levels where all those stops are, where we should have gone had that White House secretary just give details, keep your mouth shut. A bit like Trump. Be more specific, shut the fuck up. Let us do our jobs. All right, this is where we got killed from. Any reprice up here will cause a squeeze. They've just done this whole move. This is what was ready to happen. They puked it. They caught it even ahead of this. Not the best, but they caught it ahead of it. Either we reject this for rotation or they catch this squeeze now. And I'm not going to trade it either way because we're very close to lunchtime. ES back to view up. Nvidia is continuing to sell here. Just hanging around its lows now on Nvidia. Oh, please, next week, market. Let's not be in this range next week, market. Let's get out of this range next week, market. Donald, just fucking say something or say nothing. I don't care what, but do something to get us out of this range. If we are here next week, I probably will not even bother streaming. I do not want to trade death range for another week. It is exhausting. Even to not trade, just to look at it is exhausting. Oh. So yes, rejecting its view up a little bit here. Are they going to rotate this back down now? Do they catch this right here at 30s or do they let the whole thing go? I honestly cannot remember a worse time to trade than the last 10, 12 days. I can't remember it being this bad in 5 or 6 years. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Yeah, everyone's just bored. Even the big traders are just like, what? Like, how can we do anything? Other than profit taking, we can't put new money longs on because we haven't held a bid. We can't take new money shorts because we haven't failed the breakdown on the dailies. There's just nothing. There's no opportunity. I'm not talking about even for me. I'm talking about for much bigger traders than me. There's no opportunity right now. I will be here. I'm just saying, like, it makes it very boring. Like, just looking at this chart, thinking, do I want to trade this next week? I mean, really, market? Like, come on. When was the last time we were in a range like that? Here, maybe? And it failed breakdown and then went upside. We fell breakdown and failed breakout. It's so bad. It is so bad. The death chop. Jeez, man. Even a 30-minute chart is just terrible. Terrible. About 5,900 here on ES. Does it let go of that for a rotation lower? I have no idea. Does it hold it and go back to view up and go for a squeeze? Again, I have no idea what this market wants to do right now. I can't imagine going risk on in this market right now, put it that way, but maybe they know stuff we don't. Every time I gave gains was on range trading, even scalping range. So only going to trade breakouts and clear reversals. Yeah, that's it. Same as me. I like pro trend trades. I don't like getting chopped up in range. You're asking for trouble. Trading range is very, very hard. Okay, we're into lunch now, folks. So that's it. Job done. That's the market. They're going to let this go now down to lows over lunch. I will fucking scream if they do that without me. I feel like they might. Yeah, have a good weekend, everyone. Don't get chopped up in this afternoon. Do not get chopped up in this afternoon. We had one absolute banger, and that was it for me. I was waiting for that long. I was so close to getting that long. I thought I was going to have a monster trade to 600 with you all from 400 to 600. It didn't come. It is what it is. We are where we are. Back to trend line, back to previous day low, back to where we just bid off. If they fail this, we probably go low of day. If they catch this, we probably go back to view up again. And then if they get a 3 view up, we probably go through to the New York Open again. That's all you've got here, folks. There's nothing else to do. Just be very, very smart, very, very careful. Do not end your day giving it back. All right. Do not give back those beautiful profits we worked very hard for this morning. Do not allow yourself to do that. You will be very, 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 very upset with yourself if you do that on a Friday, I can assure you. So please do not do that. Big love. Thanks for joining the stream. I will be back Monday. I will maybe do a video over the weekend. I'll have a think if there's something I want to talk about. And have a great weekend. Those who want to do the course, links down below. I'll see you Monday.